we want to use this logo. So I made a new sequence. The logo is already in the project window here. And I'm going to just drag the logo in. It's tiny. So first you want to double click the clip, go to Effect Controls in your source monitor, and scale it up until it's big enough. If the resolution is poor, then you would go into Photoshop and edit the image size so that you have a nice crisp image. This looks okay for now. I'm not going to change anything with that. And now I don't like this black border around it, so I need to put a white background underneath. So I just move this video up the stacking order, so I've got another layer underneath it. There's a little piece of paper icon that's for new items, so I'm going to click on new item. And to make a background color, you can just use color matte. That's the option that you would use. Click OK. Change it to whatever color you want. And I'm going to call it white matte. And now we've got a white background. So, yep.
Sorry, really quick. The EPS, is that what the file?
.eps, yeah.
.eps, does that open in anything Adobe?
Yep, should. Mm-hmm.
Sorry, only because when I tried to click on it, like when it downloaded straight from that thing, it like couldn't.
Right. So open it up in Photoshop. It'll definitely open up in Photoshop. All right. So what are some simple animations we could do with this? Maybe we could slide it into the screen. Maybe we could scale it up a little bit. Let's try those two. So let's do the slide first. The slide is using the position effect here. So when we're animating, we're using what's called keyframes. So basically, if I was hand animating this, I would have to draw one pose and then the final pose. Those are called keyframes. And then I would have to draw all of the drawings in between to get it from one place to the next. What's nice about this digital workflow is that all you have to do is tell Premiere what the keyframes are, the first position and the last position, and then it does all of the in-between parts for you, and that's called tweening. So that's what we're doing now. The keyframing happens with this little icon, the stopwatch. So this is the final position that I would want for this, so I'm going to move the playhead to the final position. Maybe it's like right around here. And you'll see that there are two playheads. There's this playhead, and then there's the playhead here too, and they're doing the same thing. But we don't see keyframes here. We're going to see it in here. So that's my final position, right? Now I'm going to click the stopwatch to make a keyframe. It looks like a diamond. There's the keyframe. Yep.
Can you do expressions in Premiere Pro?
I've never done an expression. Maybe there is a way. Like if we open this triangle here, can we do an expression? Yeah. Yeah, I've never done an expression. Yeah, in Premiere. All right, so there's our first keyframe. What's nice is after you do the first one, it'll make it automatically once you change a parameter's number. So I'm going to go to the beginning of the clip, and I want it off screen. I want it all the way left. So this is left and right, and this is up and down. So now I can just hover over it and drag it. And you can hold shift to make this move happen faster. So now it's off screen completely. And it made the keyframe for me. I didn't have to press the button. And now I can press spacebar and see what the animation looks like. Question?
Can you, what was the first thing you did to, like, start it? Can you repeat that? I'm so sorry.
So that was keyframing.
Yeah, can you make a keyframe or like?
Yeah, so this was the final position. This was like, the standard position. So then I would go all the way to this stopwatch and press the button. And that makes a keyframe. Yeah. So when I play this, it's too slow. So that means the keyframes are too far apart. So let's just move that last keyframe over. So then the move will happen faster. So maybe it happens at that speed. That's also a little too slow, so I'm going to speed that up a little bit. Yep, Evie?
So if you didn't have the white background there, would it be like a black screen and then the white picture?
Yeah.
sliding?
Yeah, this wouldn't look very professional, you know. So in my animation class, the next thing that we would do is we want to add some realism to this. When things are moving, usually they slow down at the end point, and then they start off slower too. So that's called easing. So we want to add some ease to this motion. And to do that, you can select both of these keyframes and then right-click, temporal interpolation, and then do ease in, ease out. So I can do, well, actually, they make it a little harder with this because this one is easing in, so I'm going to right-click, temporal interpolation, ease in, and this one eases out. So let's watch this happen. You see how that feels a little more realistic? It's got some physics to it. So I did an ease out here, and then I did an ease in here. Ease means slows down. Yeah.
How do you make the second keyframe?
The second keyframe happens all by itself once you just change the number. So after you make the first one.
I can fix it. Sorry, I'm not good at this.
It's okay. That's why I'm recording video of it.
Just a question, is
Yeah.
audio going with it?
There's no audio currently.
I meant on the what you're recording right now.
Yes. I hope so. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Okay.
Is there, sorry,
Yeah, go ahead.
is there a reason why, like, you don't want it to be that slow, like, or that fast? Like,
Like, what would you rather have? Would you rather have this move happen slower or faster?
I guess it just depends on what you're covering up.
Yes, exactly. So, so maybe like Gedco has been doing this for 30 years. They help the community in so many different ways, right? So that lasted a little longer than the clip. So then what would I do? I would just extend this clip out a little longer to cover up that piece of audio and then move on. All right, let's do another keyframing. So that was, that's called the slide. Yes, Dylan?
How do you speed up your keyframes? Like you were talking about earlier, if it's moving too slowly.
You just move it. You move it left or right. Yeah.
Closer together?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or farther away to slow it down. Okay. So now I want it to scale. So this is called the Ken Burns effect, when things are like slowly getting larger or smaller. Ken Burns is a documentarian, and he did that in every single documentary he's ever done. So I'm going to delete these keyframes. And now I'm not going to mess around with position. I'm messing around with scale. So this is maybe the original size that I'm going to start off with. So I'm going to click on the stopwatch to make my first keyframe. There it is, the little diamond over here. And then maybe my last keyframe will be right around here. And I'm going to hover over the number and slide to the right to make it a little larger. And let's see how we did. So that's this kind of nice, classy, slow scale. That's how you would animate that.
And that second keyframe did it by itself?
Yes, because I already made one. And I just changed the number, and it'll make the keyframe. And that goes for all of these parameters. You can keyframe any of this stuff. You can keyframe the opacity, the rotation, the anchor point. I don't know why you would ever do that, but that's possible. Yep.
So, for example, in that video that we watched, it was a documentary. I can't remember the name right now, but we followed this Is that like-
Yeah, the food desert.
Yeah, and in the very beginning, we talked about how there was that transition. That's basically what they did, is they like kind of like laid one of the clips a little bit underneath the other ones that slid into the front.
They did a little more magic. They used a 3D camera so that it could move this at the same speed as the actual video footage. But basically, manually, you could do it this way. Yeah. I'm not even gonna go over there, but they did it. Yeah. Okay, questions about that so far? So that's how to make some slightly snazzy graphics.
Oh.
Yep.
Did you say make the background for like
So that's called a color mat, and you would press that new item icon here. See at the bottom of the screen, new item. Press that, and then do color mat.
got it. Alright, I know how to do it. Thank you.
Cool. Let's take a look at Evie's footage. So here's the two Tonys. New folder. Two Tonys. I'm gonna put it into this demo folder. Okay, I'm going to drag it into the project. All right. Does anybody know how they used to sync stuff in movies? Because there was always a recorder, somebody recording audio, and there's always somebody behind the camera recording the film. How did they used to sync? Yeah. So what is the point of the clapper? Why do they do this?
So you can get a visual and audio
Yes.
at the same time.
Right. Because the audio is hearing the clap sound, and then visually we're seeing that there's one frame where it hits exactly at that sync point. So then they match it up. Well, Premiere will do that for you automatically, so you don't have to even have a clapper, which is great. I'm going to switch to list view. It's a little easier to see. I'm going to select both of these. Sorry, my computer's lagging for some reason. Right click. Create multi-camera source sequence. Click on that. Don't mess around with this. This default is fine. Click OK. It's going to do its magic. It's going to figure out where the sync point is going to be. Hopefully. Sometimes it doesn't work. How long was this interview? Oh, that's why it's taking a while.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean, Tony's is like 20, and then we did 12.
Oh, okay. Okay. So this is, yeah, see.
Can you also do that when you get an audio file and a video
Mhm.
file? Okay,
Yeah.
'cause, like,
Sometimes your audio is better from another source. Yeah,
Yeah.
totally. All right, so if we open this, it made a sequence. If we open this, this is not very helpful. It shows you the two angles, but it's not. We want it actually in the timeline. So you have to actually do this. I wish they didn't make you do this extra step, but you have to select the sequence that they made. Right click it. And then go to new sequence from clip. That's a very important step. New sequence from clip.